Which title in your closet still has the tags on it? Which role are you carrying like a label you never meant to pick up?
Welcome to The Healing Pen, a podcast about the power of creative writing to help you process stress, reconnect with yourself, and write your way through burnout. I'm Corey Jonke, Amazon best-selling author, leadership coach, pharmacist, and someone who believes that sometimes the words we put on the page can help us heal the parts of ourselves we've been too busy to hear. If you've been carrying too much for too long, if you felt emotionally exhausted, disconnected, overwhelmed, or unsure how to make sense of what you're feeling, you are in the right place. This podcast is a space for reflection, honesty, healing, and hope. Each episode will explore how creative writing can help you slow down, tell the truth, process what hurts, and begin creating a better next chapter. You do not have to be a professional writer. You do not have to have the right words right away. You just have to be willing to begin. So take a breath, grab a pen, and let's start writing our way back to ourselves. This is The Healing Pen.
A quick scene. It was late, the fluorescent lights still buzzing above the clinic, and I was in my white coat answering one more email. My phone glowed. My mind was half on the message and half on the patient notes waiting the next morning. I typed the sentence, hit send, and for a second, I felt my own words land on the page like bricks. I remember thinking, who put me on duty for my own exhaustion? That little thought felt both ridiculous and painfully true.
That late-night email is a small example of a bigger pattern. We collect roles, expectations, and habits, titles we wear, that keep us moving even when we have nothing left to give. Sometimes those titles are helpful. Sometimes they outlive their usefulness and simply weigh us down. And when they become too heavy, we start losing pieces of ourselves, the quiet permissions to rest, to say no, to be seen for who we are beyond the label. You might notice numbness where curiosity used to be, or a voice that used to speak, now whispering or staying silent.
Today, I want to offer a small, repeatable ritual, the goodbye list. 3 short farewell letters you write privately to roles, habits, or expectations that have overstayed their welcome. The structure I use is simple. Recognize, release, reassign. Recognize what the role is and what it asked of you. Release what you can release, words meant to name and let go. Reassign the energy. Decide who or what will carry that part now, or what boundary you'll practice. Letter format helps because writing externalizes the internal. It turns a thought into an object you can look at. A short letter is a ritual. You give the role a voice, let it be heard, and then close the page. That small ceremony creates a boundary you can practice again and again.
Think of it like putting a borrowed book back on the shelf. You don't have to forget the book. Maybe you learned from it, but you stop carrying it in your arms all the time. That image keeps this work gentle and doable. If you need something lighter today, try this micro variation. 1 sentence farewells. 1 honest line, then close the page. Simple, effective, and surprisingly powerful.
When you're ready, find a quiet spot and set a timer for 10 minutes for each letter. If you're short on time, do 3 minutes each. I'll guide you through 3 quick prompts: role, habit, expectation. I'll offer example openings. You can use them or write your own. Letter 1, a role you've been carrying. Example opening: Dear On-Call Me, or Dear Perfect Employee, or simply, Dear Role I Never Asked For. Spend 10 minutes. Notice what the role asks of you, what it costs you, and what it has meant. Then write a line that releases, I am letting you go of. When your timer dings, close the letter and breathe.
Letter 2. A habit that keeps you small or tired. Example opening, Dear Midnight Responder, or Dear Habit of Doing It All. Describe how it shows up, what it promises, and what it actually takes. Offer a release line. I release you from carrying me when I'm depleted. 10 minutes, or 3 if you're short.
Letter 3. An expectation, yours or someone else's, that you feel compelled to meet. Example opening. Dear impossible deadline, or dear expectation of always saying yes. Name where it came from, how it lives in your body, and what boundary you'd prefer. From now on, when this shows up, I will 10 minutes or 3 minutes for a micro practice.
A couple of practical tips as you write. Decide ahead whether you'll keep the letters in a drawer, archive them in a folder, or burn or shred them as a symbolic release. If you choose to destroy them, do it safely and with intention. If you keep them, consider dating them and adding a short note a month later to see how you feel. If you tried the one-sentence variation, you might be surprised how much clarity a single honest line can create. And if you did the full letters, give yourself a moment, maybe a sip of water, a stretch, or a walk around the room. These small acts ground the work and remind your nervous system it's safe to come back to the present.
For a follow-up practice this week, pick one of the 3 you wrote and schedule a 5-minute check-in at the end of the day for 3 days. Ask, did I hold the boundary I intended? If not, what got in the way? This turns release into practice, small experiments that build new muscle. You do not need perfect words. You just need honest ones. Sometimes a small goodbye opens enough space to breathe differently, to choose differently, to remember you are more than any single title. And a little reminder, this work can be tender, and it can also be a little ridiculous in a comforting way. The world will still spin if you stop answering emails at 10:30 p.m. That doesn't make the feeling of letting go any less real, but it might make it easier.
If this episode helped you, I'd love for you to visit CoreyJohnke.com, where you can download printable prompts and a short guide to the goodbye list practice. If you want deeper support, there are tools there to help you move from burnout to breakthrough. And if you found this useful, please subscribe to the show and share it with someone who needs a little breathing room. Thanks for spending this time with me on the Healing Pen. Before you go, here's your reminder. You do not have to have everything figured out to begin healing. Sometimes clarity comes after the writing, not before it. If today's episode gave you something to think about, something to feel, or something to write about, I hope you'll subscribe, share the show with someone who needs it, and leave a review. That helps more people discover this space and begin their own journey back to themselves. And if you're ready for deeper support, more writing prompts, or tools to help you move from burnout to breakthrough, visit CoreyJohnke.com to learn more. Until next time, take a breath, pick up the pen, and trust that even a few honest words can begin to change the story. If you want a better life, you have to write yourself a better story. I'll see you next time on The Healing Pen.